Step aside, Galileo. Copernicus is supposedly next in line for a fiery theological roast. The legend paints him as a brave heliocentric heretic, paying dearly for putting the sun front and center. Flames? Excommunications? Pitchforks at dawn? Well, let's not light that bonfire just yet. This tale's got more holes than Swiss cheese at a rat party. Copernicus dropped his cosmic mic, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, in 1543. Instead of angry bishops, he politely dedicated it to Pope Paul III. The response? Barely a polite golf clap from Rome, far from dramatic condemnation. No inquisitors, no dungeons, not even a suspicious-looking torture rack. The worst violence Copernicus endured was probably a paper cut from his own manuscript. In fact, it took decades and a telescope-wielding Italian to crank up the heat. Only after Galileo stirred the pot did anyone think to ban Copernicus's work. Turns out being ignored is way safer than being notorious. Just ask Copernicus's social calendar. When it comes to drama, Galileo was the season finale. Copernicus? The mild-mannered pilot episode. So next time you picture a heretic, think less sizzle, more science. Despite the belief that Copernicus faced intense persecution, many also think he stood alone in advocating heliocentrism. Imagine one lone astronomer wagging his finger at the entire cosmos, insisting the universe's dance moves were all wrong. The myth? Copernicus as a cosmic party crasher, valiantly holding the heliocentric fort while a hostile mob of geocentric hecklers booed from the sidelines. Reality check. Copernicus wasn't Galileo's isolated, mad scientist cousin. He had something more like a supportive book club in his corner. Long before Copernicus, Aristarchus of Samos had already pitched the sun as the solar system's lead singer, nearly 1800 years earlier. Copernicus didn't invent heliocentrism just to score points at Renaissance dinner parties. He was building on a slow current of whispers and hints, from Regiomontanus's mentorly nudges to Rheticus's glowing pre-Amazon review. While most of Europe clung to their cozy, Earth-centered playlists, a few secret forums and heliocentric fan clubs quietly thrived. So no, Copernicus wasn't stranded on a lonely science island, but more like a team captain rallying players into formation. If he wasn't truly alone, why does the image of the solitary solar revolutionary keep orbiting our collective imagination? Let's drift a little closer to that cosmic myth. This view contrasts with the common misconception that people during Copernicus's era believed the Earth was flat. Before Copernicus, did people really fret they'd tumble into cosmic oblivion if they missed a turn near the horizon? Picture medieval sea captains, not just navigators, but fearless daredevils steering straight toward the edge of doom. Now that's commitment. The myth says everyone wandered around terrified of falling off a planetary pancake. The truth? Educated Europeans knew the Earth was a sphere, thanks to the ancient Greeks who nailed that fact before 500 BCE. Pythagoras was already dreaming of globes while the rest of us were still perfecting fire. Medieval scholars didn't just accept the globe, they flaunted it. Some church leaders even owned globes, probably using them as very scholarly paperweights. The flat Earth idea only got trendy centuries later, a 19th century rewrite designed to make the Middle Ages look less enlightened. Copernicus's real headache? Convincing everyone the Earth moved. Worrying about flatness would have been like arguing penguins are just overdressed chickens. Moreover, it's often thought that the heliocentric model triggered an immediate scientific revolution. Picture this. Copernicus drops the heliocentric bombshell into the staid world of astronomy, and you'd expect scholars to toss their geocentric charts like yesterday's leftovers. But nope, what really took flight was confusion. In 1543, our guy Copernicus casually unveils De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, boldly starring the sun, not the Earth. The public reaction? A collective, interesting. More faint whispers than mic drops. Contrary to legend, astronomers didn't instantly shred Ptolemy's playbook or blast Copernicus's tune on full volume. Most clung to Earth-centered models like security blankets, whether out of habit, respect, or a secret crush on Ptolemy. Heck, Copernicus's own publisher slipped in a preface gently saying, "Don't freak out, this is just a theory." So heliocentrism spread slower than dial-up in a lead-lined cave. It wasn't until Galileo and Kepler showed up with some cosmic swagger that the revolution really got its groove on. The moral? Scientific revolutions often arrive fashionably late. awkward, nerdy, and just finding their rhythm on the dance floor. Such rapid change, however, clashes with portrayals of Copernicus as merely a lazy priest dabbling in astronomy. Imagine being branded a cosmic saboteur just because you couldn't be bothered with your day job. The legend goes, Nicholas Copernicus, a kind of clergyman, spent his downtime neglecting holy duties, tinkering with planets like a bored intern rearranging office chairs. But here's the plot twist. Copernicus was less slacker, more overbooked Renaissance Swiss Army knife. He wore many hats: a canon, church administrator, not priest, physician, mathematician, economist, and squeezed in cosmic revolution as a side hustle. Let's set the record straight. His stargazing demanded serious brainpower, not just wishful squinting at the night sky. He didn't pitch heliocentrism over coffee. It took gutsy math to kick Earth off center stage after 1,400 years of stubborn geocentrism. He cautiously circulated his findings, weighing cosmic truth against career self-destruction. Hardly the work of a lazybones. Juggling equations and church politics, Copernicus didn't just challenge the status quo. He wrestled with chronic insomnia too. So if laziness means inventing heliocentrism, maybe we all need more naps. And maybe, just maybe, rewrite history while we're at it. Bedtime be damned. Yet some claim his work neatly solved all cosmic mysteries, elevating his contributions beyond casual interests. Did the sun finally glide into the spotlight and unravel every cosmic conundrum? Not quite. The legend shines bright that Copernicus's heliocentric model instantly untied the universe's knottiest puzzles. Before his grand entrance, Earth fancied itself the celestial VIP, crowd-surfing the cosmos with a backstage pass and zero modesty. Then heliocentrism crashed the party, plunking the sun, gold chains and all, right at center stage, gracefully bumping Earth off its prime spot. But here's the cosmic punchline. Copernicus may have reshuffled the solar spotlight, but the universe's mysteries didn't just pack up and go home. They lingered like party crashers no one invited. Sure, his theory spun astronomy on its axis, yet satellites, quirky planetary paths, and those infamous retrograde moonwalks stayed firmly on the unsolved guest list. And Copernicus? He clung to perfectly circular orbits, blissfully unaware that ellipses were ready backstage, eager to steal the show. Debates flared, with many astronomers clutching geocentrism like a security blanket at a cosmic sleepover. In short, Copernicanism didn't gift us all the universe's answers. It just changed the cosmic dinner guest list and left most of the mysterious missing socks hanging in the hamper for future stargazers to discover. Alongside this belief is the idea that Copernicus achieved fame during his lifetime. Picture Copernicus strolling the cobbled streets of Frombork, trailed by paparazzi wielding telescopes and quills, flashbulbs popping Renaissance style. But, record scratch, history didn't roll like that. Contrary to popular myth, Copernicus didn't morph into a 16th century rock star overnight just for suggesting Earth wasn't the cosmos's headliner. Academia didn't rush to throw ticker tape parades or even lukewarm handshakes his way. His magnum opus, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, hit the presses mere months before he died, quietly circulating among scholars while the masses stubbornly stayed Team Geocentric. The immediate reaction? Polite bafflement, not viral stardom. The average townsfolk kept believing the sun orbited them, like that one uncle who swears every family BBQ needs his off-key karaoke. Meanwhile, Copernicus kept his day job balancing church finances, not soaking in adulation. His cosmic revelations gathered dust long before they gathered fans. The universe had shifted, but most people hadn't quite caught up. This perception feeds into the notion that he and Galileo were close collaborators, united in their revolutionary ideas. Picture Copernicus and Galileo scheming under the Tuscan sun, plotting heliocentrism's big reveal like it's the Renaissance's hottest coming-out party. But Renaissance Europe? Not exactly the place to rally as rebel astronomers. Heresy was riskier than declaring pineapple pizza a crime against flavor. Now imagine the myth. Copernicus and Galileo as besties with matching sun tattoos, secretly launching a cult of sun worship, complete with SPF 50 dawn rituals. Cue the record scratch. Actual history crashes the party with more cosmic irony than blockbuster drama. Copernicus clocked out nearly 20 years before Galileo even hit his awkward teenage telescope phase, so their buddy cop routine? Pure fan fiction. Copernicus quietly dropped his "The Sun Wears the Crown" manifesto, more worried about earthly powers than cosmic backlash. Galileo swaggered in decades later, loud enough to get the Vatican's attention. But secret handshakes? Only if you count the world's slowest Ouija board. Today, science pairs them like peanut butter and jelly, but in reality, they were more cosmic acquaintances on paper than partners in crime. If Galileo ever met Copernicus, it was probably through a seriously delayed Amazon book delivery. Their supposed alliance is often seen as proof that heliocentrism was immediately accepted due to its superior accuracy. Picture Copernicus striding into a geocentric world science fair, proudly clutching his shiny new model of the solar system, ready for thunderous applause. Spoiler alert! The crowd stayed seated. Medieval astronomers adored Earth's VIP status, picturing planets tracing indecisive loops, epicycles, around us like dancers lost on the ballroom floor. Enter Copernicus, cool as ever, declaring, "What if the sun's the star of the show, and everyone else just waltzes around it?" Bold, for sure, but hold the Nobel ceremony. He swapped Earth for the sun, but kept the orbit stubbornly circular. Turns out, reshuffling the cosmic furniture doesn't fix messy planetary math. Copernicus's predictions were often as clunky, sometimes clunkier, than Ptolemy's. True precision only landed when Kepler crashed the party with ellipses instead of circles. Copernicus, master of the solar system makeover, flop at the popularity contest. Heliocentrism was science's new standing desk, sleek in theory, but awkward and a little painful at first. Science rarely pulls off instant glam. It prefers slow, beautifully awkward transformations. This acceptance is sometimes intertwined with rumors of Copernicus's secret sun worship. Did Copernicus trade prayers for sunscreen? The sun sure stole the spotlight. Legend says our buddy Copernicus was such a hardcore sun fanboy, he rearranged the whole universe just to give it top billing. According to the secret sun worshipper myth, he wasn't an astronomer. He was the Renaissance's version of a solar rock concert groupie, waving his sun hat and chanting heliocentric hymns. But let's not get scorched by tall tales. What Copernicus actually did was crunch the astronomical numbers, shift Earth from cosmic center stage, and, crucially, resist the urge to fry eggs on any solar altar. None of his journals, letters, or whispered secrets suggest he spent any time basking in sun devotion. If sun worship meant scoring a golden tan, Copernicus would have been outshone by Galileo. His theory came from math, not mysticism or vitamin D. Actual sun worship was ancient history by his day. For Copernicus, curiosity eclipsed cults. His boldest move wasn't swapping theology for a UV lamp, it was demoting Earth below the sun and toppling humanity's cosmic ego along with it. Regardless, many believe Copernicus independently conceived the heliocentric theory without external influences. Imagine being so ahead of your time, people actually credit you with inventing the sun. That's Copernicus for you, the guy everyone pictures as the lone wolf of heliocentrism. But don't confuse genius with total isolation. This wasn't a cosmic reboot of Cast Away, starring Copernicus and a volleyball named Pluto. The myth says he blinked one morning, got hit by a sunbeam, and, voila, heliocentrism. The truth? Copernicus had more influences than a podcast guest list on steroids. He cribbed from ancient sky watchers like Aristarchus and Islamic trailblazers such as Al-Tusi and Al-Urdi, who'd already started untangling the astronomical knot Ptolemy tied so tight you'd need GPS and 3 doulas to navigate it. What truly blew everyone's wigs back was Copernicus daring to say, "Hey, maybe the sun is the real MVP of this celestial all-star team." But nervous about cosmic backlash, he didn't drop the mic. He slid it nervously across the table and bolted. So was Copernicus a solo act? Hardly. More like the lead singer of history's nerdiest superband, harmonizing with centuries of stargazers. Call it the Enlightenment remix. Conversely, some argue that his unorthodox ideas led to exile or banishment. Picture Copernicus at the cobblestone version of Platform 9 3.4, a battered briefcase in hand, waving a melancholic goodbye as medieval peasants weep and chant, "How dare you move the sun?" It's a scene dripping with drama. Copernicus exiled, flinging star charts and dignity to the wind. updating celestial address books on the fly. But hold the cinematic soundtrack. Despite popular myth, Copernicus wasn't run out of Poland over his solar shenanigans. In reality, our stargazing scholar enjoyed a cozy gig as a canon, a church official debating Latin grammar more heatedly than heliocentrism. His magnum opus, On the Revolutions, was finished in 1543 and sweetly dedicated to the Pope, more dear father than heretical manifesto. The Vatican only started breaking out the worry beads decades later. While alive, Copernicus had powerful patrons, dodged pitchforks, and probably just wanted to escape boring clergy meetings. The real revolution happened on the page, not by Copernicus catching the next train out of Poland. Supporting this, the immediate censorship and banning of his book is often cited. Picture this. It's 1543, and Copernicus drops his cosmic mic, the On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres. He's bracing for medieval chaos, editors with pitchforks, bishops wielding book torches. "Get ready for book burning, Nick," his rivals probably whispered behind their beards. But surprise, Copernicus didn't need a fire extinguisher at his launch. His revolutionary tome barely caused a ripple in any cassock. Contrary to your favorite Netflix drama, the book wasn't immediately swarmed by angry mobs or banned from every pulpit. Copernicus played it smart, dedicating the book to the Pope, because when you can't win the crowd, flatter the boss. Plus, the book read like IKEA instructions for the solar system, in Latin, so only determined nerds with royal patience cracked it open. The real fireworks? Not until 1616, when the church finally banned the book, thanks to Galileo making heliocentrism the hottest scientific trend. So remember, ancient censors were slower than your grandma's dial-up. For decades, you could mull over planetary revolutions in peace if you had top-notch Latin skills and a high tolerance for dense charts. Such oppression reinforces the myth that heliocentrism was universally regarded as anti-religious. Imagine Galileo as the original space influencer, dropping viral star maps and instantly getting shadow banned for suggesting Earth wasn't the universe's VIP lounge. Apparently, dethroning Earth as cosmic royalty was the quickest way to get unfriended by 17th century theologians who knew that orbiting the sun could spark a social meltdown. But hold on to your telescopes. The myth that heliocentrism was universally seen as a slap in the face to religion needs a little cosmic fact check. Medieval cosmology was more like a fiery debate club than a witch hunt. Copernicus himself was a canon. That's clergy, not a cannonball. And the church initially gave his sun-centered theory a cautious thumbs up. The early pushback? Less heretic and more, "You're defying Aristotle and maybe our job security." As the evidence for heliocentrism stacked up, the theological temperature crept up. Some church thinkers launched a celestial PR campaign, trying to sync scripture with a sun-centered solar system. The heresy hashtag? That trended later, not trending on day one. Who knew the real cosmic crime was suggesting Earth isn't the universe's favorite selfie stick? Now let's fast forward and check out how Galileo fared in the ultimate comment section showdown. This religious conflict contributes to the image of Copernicus as a tragic and misunderstood romantic genius. Picture a Polish astronomer, quill in hand, staring at the endless stars and muttering, "Why won't Venus text me back?" This isn't the brooding, angst-ridden genius history loves to romanticize, with haunted eyes and existential crises galore. Nope, Copernicus wasn't hiding away in gloomy towers, outcast for daring to shuffle the sun and Earth's bingo balls. Nope, our Nicholas was a diligent canon and beloved town scholar, living a life so uneventful it might have been cozy. Right there in Frombork. The wildest soap opera in his life. The scandalous rumor about his housekeeper, Anna Schilling. Hold the presses, a live-in roommate. The monks nearly dropped their rosaries. Sure, his heliocentric model ruffled a few church feathers, but no pitchfork-wielding mobs came knocking. He lived to a ripe old 70, peacefully passing after seeing his cosmic masterpiece in print. No dramatic last words, unless you count, "Step aside, Ptolemy." So let's be honest, Copernicus wasn't some tragic heartthrob. He just wanted the sun to revolve around his ideas. And guess what? In the end, it did. Finally, these legends sometimes extend to extraordinary claims that Copernicus derived his ideas from aliens or esoteric sources. Was Copernicus just an old-school astronomer, or did E.T. Sneak him some heliocentric spoilers? Some folks love the idea that Copernicus got his cosmic blueprint from mysterious mystics, or even extraterrestrials, because, let's be honest, I crunched a bunch of math doesn't exactly scream blockbuster. But the truth is less X-Files and more Excel sheet. Copernicus sifted through ancient Greek, Arabic, and Latin texts, not alien PDFs. His groundbreaking heliocentric model came from patient stargazing, meticulous calculation, and a fearless flair for annoying the Pope, not a galactic group chat. The historical trail leads to earthly sages like Ptolemy, Aristarchus, and Al-Batani, none of whom were beaming down from the Pleiades. Science in the 1500s crawled like molasses. Copernicus simply connected the dots and maybe cursed at geocentric spreadsheets. So if aliens did hand over the idea, their Wi-Fi must have been terrible, and Copernicus still made better pierogi. This revolution? 100% homegrown Earth stuff.